Honey is not vegan. It is an animal product, and just by definition, it's not vegan. I'll make a video in the future about why honey is not ethical, but I've heard a lot of people talk about how honey is helping bee populations. I'm sure we've all heard in the news or somewhere, maybe even at the grocery store, you've seen a little sign in the produce section about how bees are so important and how they're endangered at the moment. And all of our food, all of the food is pollinated by bees. There would be no produce in the produce section. It would be devastating. Einstein says that we wouldn't exist for 4 years, I think it is, after bees are extinct. So it's really important for us to, take care of the health of the bees on the planet and to make sure that their ecosystem is thriving and that they aren't harmed. One really big reason that the bee populations are being threatened is because of pesticides, things like Roundup that will just kill them. They are sprayed publicly on the sides of roads, at parks. Huge trucks will spray so much of this stuff all over where these natural wild bees are just, living and feeding and pollinating, and it kills them. So that's affecting worldwide, or even countrywide, country to country. Obviously, not all countries are doing that with the pesticides, but here in America, it's a really big issue. So they say to help promote bee colonization and healthy bee families, and to promote, to prevent the collapse and extinction of bees, we should buy honey to support the farmers who are growing bees or farming bees, breeding them, taking care of them, trying to provide a happy home for them. But the thing is, honey production and pollination for fruits and produce are two completely different things. Well, sometimes if you have like orange blossom honey, that particular honey was being used to pollinate those oranges. But for the most part, when you're talking about just the majority of produce, the lettuce, the tomatoes, the potatoes, the peppers that are all in the grocery store, those are not pollinated by honeybees. So when you're buying honey, you are not supporting directly those bees that are pollinating your food. Not only that, but honeybees kind of hurt natural bee populations, because when a honeybee comes into the area, a honeybee that's farmed, it's going to have more chances of bringing in diseases from far away, because the honeybees aren't from here. Honeybees aren't native to America. They're native to, I'm pretty sure, England, but I can't be 100% on that, but they're not native to here. So when we bring them in to live in a certain area to feed off of certain flowers, they're going to be harming the natural bee population. One, by, them just being there is going to compete with the other bees living in the same area trying to pollinate on the same flowers. But other than that, these bees are also bringing diseases because they are farmed and it's not natural. So they can come bring diseases to these natural bee populations and cause colony collapse, which just takes out so many bees all at once. So it's not supporting natural bee population. Honey is not supporting the natural bees from living. It's not supporting the bees that are pollinating all the fruit and the produce that you're eating. So if you want to help the bees, honey is not the answer. You have to plant a whole bunch of flowers and produce and fruit in your yard. I have so many bees that fly around, and I'm just so happy all the time that my garden doesn't have pesticides sprayed on them. I'm sure they have homes nearby, because every year I get more and more bees, and it's just great. So provide food for bees. Avoid pesticides. Try to spread the word and tell other people to avoid Roundup. If you go buy some flowers or produce plants at something like Lowe's or a hardware store along those lines, they're already going to be sprayed with Roundup. So a bee is going to come and try to pollinate this flower, and yeah, you'll probably get a piece of fruit out of it. It'll probably do its pollinating job, but then the bee will fly away and die because it's sprayed with pesticides. So educating yourself, educating others, spreading the word, and not buying honey, because honey is actually hurting bee populations. It's not helping. If you have any questions, leave them down below. But thanks for watching. Have a good one.